Jack Steele and Matt Ford, welcome to the Mentor, guys.
Hello.
How you going, all right?
Thanks for having us.
Good.
How's the
Very
drive
good.
up?
Well, we thought it was going to be pretty bad, but the weather's kind of cleared up a bit.
Yeah, if
So
we
it's-
come up
it's
yesterday, would have been different.
Yeah.
Oh, you came, but you said
No, if we did, it would have been different.
Yeah,
It's
totally.
been, raining for 3 weeks straight?
Yeah.
So the South Coast copped it yesterday, didn't they?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
solid.
Yeah, but much shit going on down there, damage.
Yeah, it's not, all the golf courses are completely under. We've been getting into our
shit, you
golf
can't go
lately.
play golf.
We woke up this morning
Bad
to a
luck.
blackout, actually. So the whole street was blacked out this
True.
morning.
True.
But it wasn't too bad.
Hey, they're the same as me because like this morning, all my power went out. I went to turn the lights on. There's no fucking lights, and I tried to be an electrician. Went down, looked at the fuse box, in the basement, and played around with it. Couldn't fucking work it out. So I rang my mate, who's the electrician. I rang him, texted him at 5:30, and I know he's always sort of on the prowl. So he said, "I'm at King's Cross having a coffee." He hadn't been there all night. He just was
Yeah.
on the way to work. He's from the
Sure.
North Shore. And he came and fixed it. And I'm sort of standing around with him. We fix it. Hold me fix. It's fucked up when you can't got no power, eh?
Oh, yeah.
God.
We had phone lights here. I was like, we got about
Yeah.
6 phones. Like, what's going on? Like,
My room's we did scissors, paper, rock to who gets the best
Yeah.
room in the house. Fax's room is just like so nice and bright and gets all the light, and mine backs onto this frigging house. So I got zero light. So I'm packing for 2 hours with my frigging phone torch on.
So what'd you throw? Who threw rock or paper? What'd you throw?
I always go,
I beat him every single time. Like,
Always.
seriously, about 99 out of 100 times I'll beat him.
Okay, let's have one go right now.
All right.
Come on.
scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock. Scissors, paper, rock.
See, I got him. I told you. Every time.
Normally, that went 3 rounds. Normally it goes one and it's just one
yeah.
and done. I
I just beat him with a rock. I was rock, he was scissors.
when we
smashed
play
him.
scissors, paper, rock, it's the only time around him I get anxiety because I know he's in my head.
Oh,
and
yeah. I've already mine.
He's already beat me.
All right, ready? You and me.
Yeah?
Come on.
Scissors, paper.
He's got early.
You have a shot. You have a shot. Come on. Have a shot.
What do you...
Oh, what have I done?
Yeah, you got to get hit him.
Well, I would have done paper then if you did scissors, for sure.
All right, let's get into it. You guys are like social media sensations in this country. You're killing it, really killing it.
Thank you.
Like, young guys. Take me back a little bit. I get the name. How'd you two go together? You live in the same joint, but how'd you two get together? Grew up in the same area? What's the deal?
Yeah, so...
Who's the
wanna-
talker in you two?
Yeah, you want to take it away? Or
No, you go.
we both literally do 50-50 talking.
Yeah.
Depends what the topic is, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we met... you know when we met.
Okay, we
like-
met at the high school. I'll do the talking.
Yeah,
You relax, mate. So we met at high school. He was a year above us. So we lived in the same area. I was from Gerringong. He's from Kiama. It's like 10 minutes apart. And we met in high school. I think I was in year 7. He was in year 8. And we were waiting in the bus. Like, we were waiting to sign up our names to like the snow school trip. They do
Yeah.
the snow school
Yeah,
trip.
yeah, yeah.
And we're waiting in line and he was just in front of us. And I think we just somehow met through friends
Yeah.
or something like that.
What are you snowboarders or?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like you skateboarders, snowboarders,
Yeah.
board riders.
Yeah, we snowboarded. I'm actually still sponsored by snowboarding somehow. I don't know how, but that's what that's what I did for like 5 years. And then Falks he's more of a surfer, I'm more of a snowboarder. We do both, but then he just jump on trips with us. So that's how we kind of just started.
How we became mates is like through snow and
Did you fuck around then? Like
Oh, yeah.
doing shit.
Yeah, always doing weird shit. Like always been pretty weird. And I think, but we didn't become like real good mates until we kind of left school. Actually, no, in year 10, in year 11,
Yeah,
we kind of became real good mates. And then
through
there wasn't-
festivals.
Yeah, through festivals and stuff. But it wasn't until after school.
Well, when you say festival, you go on a festival.
Yeah.
So like, because I'm trying to work out when did you discover you both had this ability to perform, but probably more importantly, produce and edit. Like, because this is all about production.
Mm.
Like what you guys do is performance that's to your audience. You know your audience, obviously, but probably didn't happen day one.
Yeah,
But when did you work out that both of you could perform, or one of your producers? How did that all operate?
it's from Pine Tree TV. So we all went over to New Zealand in 2016. So way before Inspired Unemployed started, and there was a group of 5 of us in a house, and we had we couldn't get work for some reason. Like no one wanted to hire us.
we went over to New Zealand just to do like a ski, like live over there and work for a bit. Like just
Like
have fun.
Queenstown.
yeah, do like a snow season kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
bum around and
And then we started.
Just 2 of you.
No, there was 5 of us.
5 of us,
Yeah. And then we couldn't get work, and we were just bored shitless, pretty much. So we we're like, wait, let's start making videos. The first video we made was just us screaming.
Whose
into
idea
it.
was that though?
So
Really?
no, I think
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
Maybe yours?
We all screamed, just screaming out of camera. I don't know why. It sounds so
Were
weird.
you smoking or something?
Yeah,
What were you
yeah.
doing?
Just losing our minds,
Yeah.
really. And then we're like, oh, maybe we should try and make a skit. And we went, all right, let's try and make a skit to start with.
Out of boredom?
Yeah, out of boredom.
Yeah.
Just purely out of boredom.
I think it's probably
But we
more your
always
idea.
loved that kind of stuff.
Mm.
You know, you were doing trade. I was actually working in social at the time. But like we did like, I don't know, we're a bit of dreamers. Like
Yeah.
always kind of liked that kind of world. But like I started making a video. I mean, making skits.
But just on your mobile?
Yeah, just on
Just on the
mobile.
mobile.
Yeah.
And we just generally loved entertaining.
Yeah.
Like just all our mates and whatever. So to put the camera in front of us and do it just felt good because we
Yeah.
were away. We felt special. We were away from home and because we're so close with our family
I'm
and
kind
friends.
of nearly just fresh out of school.
Yeah.
So, but like, were you the two boys, like, as kids at home, always fucking putting on a performance, or you just, it sounds horrible, but you just like an audience? I mean, do you like the attention?
Like the attention.
Yeah.
I think probably,
so.
yeah.
Let's call it attention
Yeah.
seeking sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you know,
That's
yeah.
definitely the way to put it.
But-
Just
but-
thinking, yeah.
But the two
sure.
last kids to ever do drama at school. So I would
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So that makes I don't know how that works, but I would be a class clown every lesson. But if I had to do a speech, I couldn't. So I would actually hate when like I could never do drama ever.
Oh, you
Kinda-
didn't do
No,
drama?
never. I would never ever want to
Yeah.
either.
I kind of like the attention when it's not actually meant to be on me.
Yeah.
Like, say my birthday, I hate that stuff because attention's on you. But like fighting for the attention, I kind of
Yeah.
like, you know.
And Falcon's always been the biggest weirdo on earth. Like,
Cheers.
it's
No.
like-
No.
And everyone knows, like in our friend group, you've just been this weird kid forever, doing the same
What's that
stuff you
mean?
do now.
What-
Like just like dancing or carrying on like just super different, but in an entertaining way.
He didn't mind taking the piss out of himself, and he did it with skill.
Yeah.
Is it more a theatrical
So,
skill?
yeah, probably.
But
And
is
just weird, like just heaps
Or
weird.
Like,
I don't
I'm
know.
real.
Yeah, I know, I don't-
So like,
in a good, the best way possible.
yeah, I feel like I'm just really annoying. I just annoy my mates trying to get a laugh out of them.
Yeah.
Like I just will annoy
But are
them.
you
until
doing it
they-
for a laugh?
Yeah, for a laugh.
Yeah, like, give me an example. Like,
Well, like I will just say Jack's sitting there on the computer, and maybe I just want some attention. I'll just do something to him. Like I don't know, like.
He'll start dancing and pull his pants up to a G-string and start dancing around the room. That's a perfect
That's a great
example.
example.
Literally happens every day. I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I swear. So it's just that stuff every day, just annoying your friends in a funny way, theatrical way.
But
for sure.
but not on camera. Just
Nah,
it's
no,
not
no.
just for the camera.
No.
It's him natural.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah,
sure, definitely. It's
Yeah,
so
definitely.
natural.
I mean, you got brothers and sisters.
I got an older sister. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's crazy. Like, no, she's not crazy. I've sent her crazy. Like I used to just annoy the crap out of her.
What about your mum and dad? What, they like that?
Yeah, and well, apparently dad back in the day, like he's a brickie and he's a bit of like a man. He's not really. He's an idiot. Like when he gets on the piss, he drinks a bit.
Yeah.
He's a bit wild.
And when Matt does this, is him being on the piss, or he just is sober?
Well, I do it sober. Like, it depends on who I'm comfortable around. If I'm comfortable around people, I'll do it. But
On the piss, but you should
piss
see
definitely
him.
makes it easier.
Oh,
I mean, I'm not that weird, but like,
Nah, I don't know.
yeah.
You love putting on a show, but
Yeah, sometimes.
I mean, like when I was
But
growing
I can
up,
be very shy as well. I can be like,
I'm getting that. I'm getting a bit of shyness.
Yeah.
Out of it, mainly because I'm much older than you guys, I guess. But like I'm getting a little bit of shyness there. But by the way, just feel free to fucking pull your pants down and pull your jeans down. Whatever.
Yeah.
We got the camera rolling anyway. It's all
let's
good.
go.
No.
Get on the table.
I
Be
love a
careful
little
what you
bit
wish for.
I love a bit of fucking content, boys. Come on.
start twerking.
Twerk. Because when I was growing up, the guys did that. They could probably get themselves in trouble where I grew up and when I grew up, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But your generation that's cool. Like it's actually sort of considered to be funny, more funny than when I grew up. Like
Yeah.
but you'd probably get a backhander when I grew
Yeah.
up. You know,
Yeah.
someone would fucking step in and give you a swipe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Does any of you ever feel like doing that?
Yeah.
Jack, do you ever feel like hitting him or?
Oh yeah. Every day. I'd love to.
You'd love to.
No.
Feel free.
Yeah, go on.
Nah, one day we'll have a boxing match one day, and we'll just unload on each other.
So you discovered that you two like doing that sort of stuff together.
Yeah.
Does one produce and one performs, or do you just? I mean, does the idea of the production, in other words, not a production meeting? You probably do have production meetings, but hey, why don't we do this as a skit? I'm talking now in terms of your content.
Mm-hmm.
Does one of you sit down and work that out, then the two of you perform it, or is it just a joint effort in terms of decision making and the performance?
Very joint,
yeah.
very joint. Like it honestly depends on whose idea it is. So from day one, Falks actually knew how to edit probably a bit more before me.
Yeah.
And then I learned, and then we'd literally just take it in turns. Like if Falks had an idea about, ordering a coffee and if something funny happens with the barista, that's his idea, then he'll go script it or tell me the idea first. I'm like, oh, that's great. He'll script it because it's his vision. So whoever's vision it is so important because that's what's going to carry it, because you can't transfer a vision into someone's head,
Totally.
Which we struggle with a lot. So like we'll come to each other with an idea and then the other person just can't really get it. They try their best, but then when they don't get it, you get like a bit upset. You're like, damn it. Like I know how,
Yeah.
But I think you both, we know each other so well now. You can transfer the vision sort of. So then he'll go and script it, then bang, we'll film it. And then he'll probably take charge of the edit because it's his video and vice versa. So it's literally 50-50.
But now Jack, you do more like Jack's a perfectionist and I'm not. Like I'll be like, that video's done. We'll be editing it together. But that's done. And then Jack will grab it and it's spend another like 2 hours on it to make sure it's like perfect, where I'm not like that at all.
Well, is that with like, because I often say this about people cutting sewing. One guy cuts, one guy sews. You got to have the mad bastard out the front. And he cuts the cloth, and the next guy, the other guy, the business partner, he can be part of it all, but he's also he's stitching up, making sure it is in good shape.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
it's a good analogy.
Yeah, but you're consumers of your content. They don't want to see shit.
No,
they just want to see funny shit, but they just don't want to be like badly put together.
No, and the more you grow, you kind of have that expectation.
Especially when your sponsors are looking at it too.
Yeah.
So if you go back to 6 years ago, wherever it was in New Zealand, you guys decided to put a little skit together. Was it the whole 5 of you decided to do it, or just 2 of you?
All 5.
Probably all 5. Yeah.
Yeah. So we made this little Instagram page. It's called Pine Tree TV. And we made like probably 6 or 7 skits, and it kind of took off around home, just like our families and stuff. But that kind of got us thinking, like, and then we all got jobs and we all just stopped. But then it was about 3 years later, I was working as a carpenter, but I never wanted to be a chippy because my dad was a bricklayer and I just seen how fucked it was on his body. And I was like, I never want to be a tradie. But then I fell into it because there's not much else. There's not much opportunity down there. It's like you're either a school teacher or you're a tradie. And Jack was a tradie, but you did a lot of traveling. And he's like, I'm going over to Europe. Let's go. And I was like, nah, I'm about to start my apprenticeship. Even though I didn't want to, but I was about 23 at the time. I was like, I need to kind of get my shit sorted. I've kind of been fucking around for a while. And then he's like, no, let's go. We'll work towards something we want to do for the rest of our lives. Like, we'll go to get like a business or we'll like make videos. And because we both knew we wanted to do that stuff. And then I hang up and I was like, nah, this is like the first time I'm going to say no to a trip. I got to get my shit sorted. And then I went in, I spoke to my mum and she's like, you know what? Just fucking live your life. You only get one shot at it. Just go, you'll be right. It's just a year of your life and just come back and do it if it doesn't work out. So I was like, fuck it, called him back. I was like, let's go.
Literally half an hour later.
We left like 2 months after that and we went over to Europe and we went over there and like, let's make videos. We really wanted to make videos and like make kind of funny travel like vlogs, I think we're looking at start.
Skits and vlogs and stuff.
Skits and vlogs and just whatever. But we didn't think that was going to be our job.
Yeah, that wasn't the business plan.
We were like, let's start like an acai bowl business or we're trying to look at getting a cafe up in Byron. And like we're just trying to think
anything. This trade idea, like Airbnb, but for tradesmen. Kind of like Airtasker, I guess.
Yeah.
But in a more.
We're just trying to think.
We just had all these dreams.
but that was our hobby, was making videos. That was what we thought was fine. So we like doing it. We liked, I guess, starting this Instagram page and getting the attention and trying to build it out because we just had so much fun making videos.
And it was we just genuinely didn't, because we weren't from the city. So we had making money on Instagram or brand deals or anything. That was foreign language to us.
We didn't even know you could make money.
We had no idea.
There was no plan.
No. There was definitely a structure and plan to grow as, and I feel like once we started, that's when we got, or me personally and Falcon as well, like we definitely got obsessed and we're like, okay, we've started. And then the goal was we cannot go home because we're making a fool of ourselves. Like we're tradies with a reputation at home, Not that means anything, but.
No, it does.
It does though.
Especially when you're younger.
Yeah,
like
for
stuff
sure.
What we were doing, if you couldn't do that at home and then go on the job site the next day, just because like.
Dressing as girls.
It wasn't really that.
They give you shit.
Yeah, just get shit put on you.
Yeah, because especially if you're an apprentice anyway, especially if you're an apprentice, because like, apprentices always get shit put on them anyway.
Exactly.
Go find me the box of sparks or the left-handed screwdriver, all that shit. Yeah. And they're all dad jokes, but they actually do.
Yeah. And when you're doing
worse, because I was like 3 years out of my apprenticeship, so I had
it was worse for you.
Worse for me.
And when you're doing this stuff, and like not many people are following you. It doesn't seem like you're legit. So people are like, yo, you're just doing that for nothing. Like, what's wrong with you? And then when we started to get a bit of a following, people took us a little bit more serious. I'm like, all right, now. So at the start, it's really hard because everyone's like, what the fuck are these guys doing? What are the freaks?
Was it called Inspired Unemployed then?
Yeah.
Right at the beginning?
Yeah.
So you came up with the name.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you get the name?
So we got, I think because you did a couple skits on your page and then we're like, let's start a new page and just really go for it. And we got stuck in this Airbnb in France. We got snowed in actually, and it was just so gross. It was like the floor was just condensation, like water everywhere.
We were pretty rattled because we just left summer in Oz. All our mates like drinking, having fun, and we went over to Europe and we're in the French Alps. And it was so dark, and we were like this snow blizzard, and we didn't have any friends, and we were just like, "What the fuck did we come?
What are we doing?" And we had not much money, and we're blowing all that money on these Airbnbs that weren't even good because we're in the middle of their school holidays, so it was just so busy. So we had to get the shittest Airbnbs for a lot of money for us.
Yeah,
we're just broke travelers, and then we were in there and we were just making video after video, and then we had to start the page. So we're just like, what are we? I think it only took maybe an hour to realize.
Translator, we're like, what are we? We're like, we're inspired, but we're broke, and it just.
Yeah.
I think did it give us the name?
We're looking at words for being poor or broke, and unemployed come up. Yeah. And we're like, oh my god, that's perfect. Inspired, unemployed, and we're like done. And then we just made the page right then and there, and then it, we were over there in Europe for 6 months, just literally working on this page so hard. We were doing 5 skits a week, so scripting, filming, editing. Not much scripting was going on back then, but 5 days a week while we're trying to have this holiday with our mates. So there was a lot of work, and we'd go to a cafe twice a week and write our goals down. And looking back at it,
our number one goal back then was just to be able to work from a cafe. That was like, that's the dream, like to work from a cafe. That was all we wanted. And we kind of thought it could lead us into like maybe getting extra gigs. Like we're like, if we get a bit of following, like maybe we get like a TV extra gig one, like every now and again, or that's what the kind of we're working towards.
You might not have had a business plan, and you probably never knew what your product was going to be, and you probably didn't realize you could get. You said earlier, you probably didn't realize you could get advertising or sponsors to kick it along. Did you have one objective though?
So one was to go home with 10,000 followers. Because you know how on Instagram you get the 10K?
Yeah.
And it looks more legit.
Yeah, we thought that was like literally the most amount of followers ever.
We used to look at people with a page, and I remember this one guy that did videos, Dunny at home, and he was killing it at the time. He had 50,000 followers, and we were like, how the hell? Like, we're looking at him like the Prime Minister. We're like, how do you get 50,000 followers? That's impossible.
Yeah.
And our goal was just to get to 10,000 before we went home, so we didn't look so much like a joke. And I feel like that short-term goal, or whatever we looked at it as the time, maybe a long-term goal, that was the main goal, to be honest.
We had like 6 months to do it.
Yeah. And it was just an obsession for me personally, like just to get there, like just to grow quick.
Yeah. So we'll listen. I seen a photo of Gary Vee out there. We'll listen to a lot of him, and he's just like, you gotta post. So we're listening to a lot of him and Tony Robbins. Like that's where we're getting our inspiration from. And
that's cool.
Dude, like big time. Gary Vee and Tony.
And you said something really interesting then, Jack. Like you said, obsessed. Because I think once you find one goal, 10,000, whatever it is, doesn't matter how modest. And if you become obsessed about it, they're two really important ingredients to just kicking it off anyway. Forget about all the other shit. What's the product and all that stuff. Like, just get a goal and get obsessed about it. Otherwise, you sit around planning forever.
Exactly.
You never fucking do anything. And you gave yourself 6 months, 10,000, and I want to make sure. And the emotional part of it was, I don't want to go home and look like a fucker.
Seriously. Yeah. And I think we'll just over that 6 months, we're just building this skill set. Like it was like a new craft. We're building we're building our editing skills, our production, our scripting, like our comedy. Everything was getting built without us even realizing. So because we're just having so much fun.
You didn't realize it. That's important. Yeah, exactly. Is that right?
We didn't. We obviously, in hindsight, know, and we probably did know at the time we're getting better, but it was just all moving so fast.
It's just a natural thing. Like
we weren't
like trying to get better. It was just kind of happening. Like see that guy did that kind of film. We should try that. Like, that camera angle. Like, and because we used to just film like one thing, but now we film like the same thing, like same like speaking role, whatever, from different angles. So you can cut different angles. Like we just, you kind of start learning things as you go.
How important is the edit? The skill and
everything.
Everything. So where for skits, oh my God, that's where the comedy and you know, keeping people engaged, the audio is so important, like underlaying audio, which we found out on the, 4 months in probably. All these little things that meant so much, like overlaying clips and music and
it's what takes the most time as well. Like
100%.
we can film for an hour and edit for 8.
Yeah.
You know?
So did you, in that 6-month period when you're trying, did you get up to 10,000 by the way?
No, we didn't.
We went to 8 or 7
I think
even?
8.
Maybe 7.
7.5.
Yeah.
And I went home first. So, fuck, man, it was like I didn't hit my dream, So I went home a month before Faux. And then I got home and we actually hit this point of where it all blew up. So we got to 7,500 followers, I think. Faux was still overseas.
I think I stayed over for like 2
maybe 2 more months.
Yeah.
And I kept making them at home and Faux kept making them in Europe. So it was a bit of a different dynamic, but you still had a few like Billy and Dom in Europe to make videos with. And then I had my other housemates. So it worked probably really well. But I remember having this chat with Faux and we genuinely were like, is this worth, we're putting so much effort. I'm working a full-time job. You're traveling on a yacht. Like we're putting so much work for such little reward. It was literally, I'm talking like 15 comments, opposed to now we get probably 10,000, 5,000, 10,000, whatever. And then it was literally 10 to 30 comments. A good video is like 40 comments. And like 30 followers, every few days sometimes.
We're just tired. I think at the end of the Europe, because our mates came over and we're traveling around with them and we're traveling with them, but trying to make videos at the same time. And we kind of felt bad to them because they're traveling and we're trying to make videos and we're kind of just getting tired. I'm like, what's this? Like, what are we getting out of this? Like, what's this? What are we doing this for? Like, we're not getting anything out of it other than like a couple followers and no little jobs or anything. Well, kind of got tired and
But that was like the most
probably still loved it.
Important part of our whole career was that part of us. I don't think we were ever going to give up, but we were definitely having doubts because you can't see it working out because you're just putting in so much work. And even though it was like 2 weeks away of us blowing up, we had no idea. But I feel like it might sound cringe or whatever, but the universe just said, you know what, you've put in this much work. And then we pushed past that and we'd also built a skill set and we've built the backlog of videos. So when Faux did get home and in a week of Faux getting home, we made like 3 videos in a row and they just went nuts and we blew up and our whole life changed in that moment. Literally in a week, our whole life just changed.
Can you explain to me, so you've got 7,500 followers, you've got a catalogue of stuff you've done that you can roll out. You built this skill set up, just by, learning on the job. Which is the best way to learn, to be honest here. But just sort of, you're pretty fucking worn out. You're going, Jesus, is this all worth it? And by the way, every business goes through that process. What was it, apart from the fact that, as you said, the universe spoke to you? What was it that got you to, when you say blew up, what you mean was you kicked on hard, as opposed to blew up in a bankruptcy sense? You kicked on hard. What was it that made that happen? What was the event?
So we did like 3 videos in a row. We did this one where I was dressed up as like Britney Spears, and I was in a dress, and it was kind of confronting. That was the first video when I got home. So I was about to go on the job site the next day, and we edited it all up. I got in his ex-girlfriend's dress, and she got me all like makeup up and stuff.
And
we did it, and it was disturbing.
So disturbing.
And I was like, I don't want this to go out. You know what? I'm going on a job site tomorrow. We're not releasing this. And then
you see his moose knuckle it was just not good. It was
just confronting. And then everyone was like, no, let's just release it, whatever. So I'm like, fuck it, whatever. And then that got heaps of traction, like more than any other video we've done. And then after that, we did a dancing one down the street to Hall & Oates. And then that just went even bigger. And like followers were starting to roll in and heaps of comments. I'm like, whoa, someone's on here.
And that's when our manager hit us up for the first time.
We got to start getting managers to hit us up and job interview. Like,
what do you mean managers? Instagram manager?
Like management, like agencies.
Yeah.
Like talent management.
Talent management.
Yeah.
So if I could we just want to edge back a little bit. So whose idea was it for you to dress up like Britney Spears?
I think it was your one.
I think
it was your Britney idea.
My idea, and then I didn't want to do it.
But you hadn't done that sort of thing before. Hadn't really sort of publicly done that Britney Spears thing.
Nah.
So was you taking the piss out of yourself, but also doing something pretty weird, relatively speaking? Is it your like the South Coast community that it blew up with, or did it blow up everywhere?
It was mainly around the South Coast.
But the Brittany one.
Yeah. That stage, that 7,000 followers was like probably mainly around our home and then maybe a bit of Sydney and a little bit of Melbourne.
So when you say blow up, does that mean you got more followers or more likes or more engagement? What was it?
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But then the next video came, the Hall & Oates one, and then that got us to about 9,000 followers. That blew up even more. That nearly got to probably on like 500 comments maybe, which was massive for us.
Totally.
And that was like blowing up.
Blowing
up. Wow. We're like calling each other at Smoko going, what the fuck? This video's going nuts.
Yeah.
So like,
frothing.
Yeah.
Like our email, we're getting a couple of emails come in because we started this new email account. We were so foreign to this world. And everything that come in, we were just losing it over. And then the third video is where it really went off. That was another dancing video to Be My Lover by LaBouche, I think it is. And we just all dressed up in like dark Berlin outfits and looked super weird and went down the back of our house to this quarry. And that went nuts. Like Brown Cardigan shared that, which is a huge Instagram meme page in Australia. And a lot of people around the world. And we got 30,000 followers in like 30 hours.
Whoa.
It was crazy. And then that's where things just went from there.
It wasn't a purposeful chase for followers at that time. You didn't think, if we dress up like this and all this sort of dark Berlin gear, you're talking about like leather tights and shit like that. Yeah, it's a bit of Pulp Fiction, like the Gimp.
Yeah.
Honestly, everyone was like, we're going to go down film this video. Everyone go to your closets and pull out anything black. And we just everyone just had this weird shit in their closets. Like,
and that video come together. Yeah, so
the
weird.
fact that you had it. I just got this leather outfit here with a few buttons down the front. Yeah. So that got you to 30,000. And then I guess from there you worked out, hang on, this is the formula.
Yeah. And I feel like because you can, for us, we can share a page and if people don't want to follow it, they're not going to follow it. If they don't like it, it's not just because you share someone. I think the lucky thing for us, we had literally 115 videos already sitting on our page. So people then found out about us and went, oh, what? They've been doing this for ages. And they, I guess, enjoyed it. And then that's why I think it worked in our favour that it took a while.
They stuck with you.
Yeah. I feel like it
wasn't just like a one-off video. They're like, these guys do this kind of stuff. Or maybe I'll follow them and see what comes up next kind of thing. Yeah,
I think that was a massive, ingredient to why it worked.
I'm going to get a break and come back. But I want to talk about how'd you get from 30,000 to I think you were like 1.2 on Instagram. And I mean, your TikToks goes off. I want to ask you about what do you think about Facebook and etc.
Yeah.
I mean, LinkedIn's not your game, but like Facebook. And then I want to talk about how you make money out of all this deal.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you've established like 30,000 followers and blah, 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 and you sort of got your head around, the content or what works anyway, and then you got your feeling stuff, you got your skills built up, but somehow you got to, on Insta anyway, more than 1 million followers. That's a big jump, 30,000 to there. Like, was it just time, effort, skill, consistency? What was it?
Consistency would be a massive one. Yeah, after that kind of, what do we call it, a blow up to 30,000, we just kind of put on the gas and we're like, all right, let's just make video. Because we're getting so much like more motivation from it as well. Because like we could see ourselves growing. So like, let's really have a go at this. So we just went and made as many videos as we could. And we're just having so much fun with it. And the following just stopped. No. It just constantly from then until kind of now, it just hasn't really stopped.
How many years ago was that, the 30,000 watermark?
2.5.
It was like the end of 2019.
What's the difference between that feeling and the energy? I mean, there's a big, massive energy. What was the thing that gave you energy, do you reckon?
After it blew up?
After it blew up.
Yeah.
Compared to the 7,500 before, the shit feeling, what am I doing this for?
I think so many things, like the momentum and...
I think what it was for us is like we realized we could maybe make a career out of it. Like we're like, holy crap. Like we had managers hitting us up. We had people from brands hitting us up saying they want to do stuff. And we're like, oh my God, we could, like people are offering us money to do this. Is this a joke?
Yeah.
Like, we could not believe it. So that was just like, we could maybe make something out of this. We didn't even think, I had no dream that like I'd be in this seat, like ever. No. And then, I don't know.
It's purely because how much we didn't want to do our old life. We genuinely did not like being tradesmen. I never wanted to continue it. It just helped me travel. I still you had fun days and stuff, but I knew it meant for more, And I think because we knew we come from that, and if we didn't make this work, we're going back to that. That was the biggest driving force ever, like literally in the world for us, because we knew what it could be if we don't continue this. And then it was so scary because we're like, if we keep going, like, what's going to happen? That, because we weren't secure. We still don't feel that secure. We definitely feel a lot more secure now with our career. But at that point, for that whole year and a half, we're just fighting for it. We're like, we need to make this work. And if we don't, it's more, I don't know, a shame, not a shame, but just like you feel like you let yourself down. You don't want to go back to the job site. You fail.
Yeah, and
exactly.
we just knew what a good opportunity we had and to not fuck it up. Like, we got something good going on here. Let's really try and get the most out of it and
remember those goals. So I had a whiteboard in my room, and Fax and I would always write, is always that short-term goal, like a 2-month goal or a month goal. At the end of March, we're on 50,000 followers, let's get to 100. And then once we get to 100, and we did that all the way up into 1 million followers, literally. And that was massive driving force for us, because you're like, okay, we need to get to 400,000 followers in the next month. What do we have to do? So there's all these short goals, and then we'd be like, okay, let's make 3 very good videos in the next 2 weeks. And the only way we're getting followers is by making good content. So by having the only way to get followers.
Only way is just to make videos, to just produce content. That's the only way to do it.
And your content's sort of a little bit thematic. I mean, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you stick to what works. But the thematic has variation in the production. So, you just change it up, but it's the same theme sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so you two must have actually sat down and worked out not a business plan, but a plan. Like you said, like, here's my goals. And we're obsessed by it, and we got energized by the fact that we're doing really well, blah, blah, blah. But these are the things that work. We know these things work. These things can blow us up, keep blowing us up until we get to the numbers we want to. And as I'm hearing you talk about it, I'm thinking about 2 guys that I know. You may know of them, but you probably wouldn't know them. And I'm thinking of Paul Hogan and John Cornell, or Strop.
And
I know them quite well, and particularly Strop. And I remember them back around your age. And this is exactly the conversation they were having about. They used to do a show on Channel 9 before Crocodile Dundee was made. And it was about Paul Hogan on the Harbour Bridge. All right, it's not Instagram, but it's a long version, etc. And it was about Paul Hogan being a stupid, silly bastard, like just doing weird shit. And Strop was even more weird. Like, he used to walk around with a funny jaw and he used to talk funny, and but he was just basically taking the piss out of himself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then that ended up becoming a movie, and we know the story about the two and how famous they became. But it's sort of very similar. Like, they were both from working class families. Strop was from West Australia. Hogs is from Sydney, but he's worked on the Harbour Bridge, painting the fucking Harbour Bridge. And they just come up with a fucking weird, wacky idea and put it in front of Kerry Packer, and Kerry Packer said, "We'll run with it." You guys got your own TV station. That's called Instagram these days, and TikTok. But nonetheless, it's very similar. Same. In fact, I can sort of see. I see Hogs in you, and I see Strop in you. It's weirdest thing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put you down, because these 2 guys are icons. Total icons, And anyway, so I just think there's a lot of parallels in this, and just 2 guys fucking around, and they actually eventually work out what the formula is, and then they work their ass off to make sure the formula just keeps falling out. But at some stage, they worked out how to monetize it. Now, you got to know how to build the audience. You work your ass off to build the audience. When did you work out? Hang on. I can make money out of this Instagram page and the followers. How did you work out how to monetize?
I think, so we got hit up by our manager, who we have now, Claire. She was like she hit us up around 10K, and she's like, she had a job for us to do it was for Warner, for some music, just to promote some music. And we're like, yeah, that's amazing. And then she's like, actually, you know what? I want to manage you guys. Do you want to meet up? So we met up with her for coffee. And at this stage, we were actually getting a few other people hit us up. But we met with her, and she was just kind of straight up. And I remember her saying this job she had for us. She's like, we're like, how much will it be? And she's like, probably like 5. And I was like, what, $100? And she's like, $1,000. And I was like, oh my God, like, what the fuck? And then we left that interview with her. And Jack's like, you're a fucking idiot. You shouldn't have said 500. Now she's going to downsell us and shit. And I was like, damn it.
I remember him saying 500. I was like, oh, you
so
idiot.
Excited.
But like, to us, that was foreign. We're like, what? $5,000 for making it?
That would work like 2 months to save that.
Yeah.
So that became your first monetization. And then you engaged what they call talent manager.
Yeah.
You're the talent.
Yeah.
You provide the content as well. And she manages that into the marketing or the advertising world.
Yeah.
And she takes a fee. They normally take a percentage of the whole thing.
20%.
Yeah, it's normally
20% of the
20.
clip. Yeah, 20% of the
Normally.
clip. And you still with her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
She's Sydney based?
Yeah, so she is, but she's also in New Zealand at the moment. She
Right.
lives over, like she's Kiwi, but she's lived her whole life. She just moved over there because she's got a boyfriend.
yeah,
She's
okay.
a boss.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's good.
She's good though.
Oh, she's so
She's
good.
like 6'4", doesn't take shit from
6'4".
anyone, and we
She's
just
a
have a really
boss.
good relationship with her.
And it's just honest. She's like, we're on the phone like 5 times a day with her. It's like a second mum, you know. And I feel like that's the main thing with it because we've had big agencies hit us up, but you get lost in their system. Whereas with Claire, our manager, we've been like just fighting for each other since day one. And she's got a lot of talent, but I think she only really personally looks after us and maybe a couple others. So it's really mutual. We want to grow together, so
yeah,
which is really
exactly.
good.
When she started, she had one worker, and so she had her and one worker, and now she has about 10. Like, so she was really hungry and really hungry. So it was just like the perfect formula because she wanted to grow and we wanted to grow.
Yeah.
So we just really,
And- yeah.
And it's always been a handshake deal. Like, we've
We
just
never signed anything.
we never signed anything. We don't want to sign anything. We just like, we won't fuck you over. You don't fuck us over. And
Yeah.
it's just been like that. And so we just had this really good relationship with her.
So like throw a few names out there. Who are your sponsors? Like
Oh,
pay you?
God. Red Bull. We've done work with like the big fashion, like Fendi and Louis Vuitton, and I don't even know where you start. Like Paramount Films and
Well, let's talk about Red Bull. So what do they want you to just tip a Red Bull over here? What do they want you to do?
So we actually we actually did a contract with them, but just before COVID. So we had like all these things. We're going to go to like take us to like, I don't know, all the events like the cliff diving and F1, all this stuff.
Yeah.
But that kind of fell through because of COVID. But we did a few little things like this music motel stuff where we like hosted it and we just go to their events and make videos and stuff. What else?
Do they get you to produce it as well?
Yeah.
So they leave the content and all the production into your hands?
Or
Depends what you
the
do.
one thing we did with the hosted, we didn't. Like, it's like a live stream thing where we kind of co-hosted it.
if it's for Instagram though, we're very like
We won't post
we
anything on us.
won't do anything on ours. Like we don't direct and edit and have the concept, for like unless it's our creative idea, we won't do it.
Right.
Like even if we're directing, we did this thing for Iconic, the Iconic.
Yeah.
And they wanted us to work with them, like cool, but then we're like we're not really doing it unless we choose the song and we get to kind of co-direct it.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that performs on your page. We know our audience.
Yep.
No, they don't. No brand knows your audience like
Yep.
you do. So I guess that's from day one been super important for us.
Plus, you don't want to compromise your brand
Nah.
around their brand.
Exactly.
And so your business model, to some extent, loosely speaking, is that you keep building audiences. You keep keeping your audiences happy and evolve your content with your audience's expectations. You have a manager, and then you sell into your audience stuff that you curate for your audience. So that's your business model. The revenue, and you've got your costs of producing content. You're probably going to do things like podcasts and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So, for me, I would say there's risk in that because and there's risk in everything, by the way. But there's risk in that because if Instagram decides that it changes its flavor, it's not that handsome anymore, like Facebook's become, or if TikTok somehow gets banned in Australia because they don't like the fact that it's owned by Chinese or whatever, I don't know, whatever. Fuck. You become, all of a sudden they can ruin your
for sure.
position.
Oh,
So
definitely.
what do you do about that? I mean, how do you sort of work your head around that part?
Yeah,
Because you put a lot of effort into it all.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me. I just didn't want to be, because we quit our jobs, which was massive for us. We're like, fuck, let's quit our jobs and try and make videos. But we didn't want to be known as like influencers. Like we just make money out of Instagram. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to be more
Stable.
solidified, like it's a podcast, or I really wanted a TV show. And we spoke to a few people and we nearly
Hamish and Andy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
Good mates with Hamish. He's a legend.
Yeah.
And a bit of a mentor.
And it wasn't until we kind of met up with him, we caught up with him one time, and he's like, people in television would die to have what you guys have, like to be able to produce something and 1 million people see it, because I was like, I just want a TV show so it solidifies me as not just an influencer or whatever. I really we didn't really like that term.
Instagram, yeah.
We didn't want to be known as that. We wanted to, have different revenues or different types of money coming in, so it wasn't just
And different platforms.
yeah,
Different platforms, yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. So TV is still a platform.
Yeah,
It's still a huge platform. And we sort of undermined a little bit, but you're right. Like that's why Channel 9 loves Hamish and Andy so much, or both of them individually as well, but and doing TV shows because they're great talent. So are you guys doing something around that territory?
Well, we had a meeting with Stan last year, and then we had a meeting with Netflix as well, but we just weren't ready. Like, someone offers, they kind of said, like, if you want to do something, let's do it. And we were like, oh my God, let's do it. And we had chats with both of them. We went through a fair process with Stan, and it
wasn't Stan.
It was a production company.
Production company and all that
through
stuff.
Stan.
Yeah.
With Stan, I was saying. But then at the end of the day, we just weren't ready. And luckily enough, we didn't go ahead with it because we weren't ready, and it would have been bad. So,
and it was pretty nuts. Like, that was our dream, was like to have like a show, like a travel show, like, because we love travel and stuff. That'd be like the dream. And we kind of got a hand to us and we were like, no, we're not ready.
Yeah.
We like,
what does it mean you're not ready?
We just didn't feel like we had the skills, or we still feel like we need to grow before we can
grow what?
Grow our audience and grow ourselves.
Our skill.
Yeah, well, maybe your skill is
skill.
Because you've got a good audience.
Yeah, audience is fine.
If you've got the skills, you can drag the audience across.
Yeah, no, definitely the skills.
It was a skill. And the gut feeling. Yeah. We went away and we had like a writer's trip for Alex and I for like 4 days, no phones. And we just honestly we just knew it wasn't right, but we wanted it to be right because we really wanted to do it. But then we were like, okay, let's go down the podcast route, but like firsthand to build our skill set up, which we're doing now with Spotify, which is the best thing we've probably ever done, even though it's a lot of work.
And we turned that down for
like a year
and a half. People kept coming, let's do a podcast. And we go, nah. We weren't ready. And then for some reason this time they came back.
It felt right.
And it kind of just felt right. I'm like, you know what, let's have a go at it.
So what about this
then? That's the stuff I like to see, the better be.
Hey,
it's bloody, what time is it? 11 in the morning? We have one or what?
Me. I don't figure out what time of day or what it is. It's all good. But what about better beer? So is this your game? So we've got to have a product, okay? So we've got build the audience. Like, I'm not going to undermine, don't get me wrong. This is not meant to be undermining anything, but build the brand, build the audience, keep feeding the content, have some fun, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff, which you're doing a great job at. Come up with a product because, like getting advertising dollars, that's not sustainable because you're not really a publisher. You're not a television station. You're not a radio station. You do a bit of podcast. Maybe it's not a bad risk mitigated and something that way. In other words, we're not all in one place. We're spreading our talents around, maybe getting a TV show, but that's a hard one to crack. I mean, but if you crack it, you'll kill it. Beer. Sell product into a market. Now, if you had said to me you're doing that 10 years ago, before the craft thing kicked off, I'd be saying, just as a kid, I'd be saying, fucking great idea. But it's pretty crowded. You got bloke.
Very saturated.
The bloke beer. You got Tai Tuivasa, who's got Western Sydney. You've got
Batuta.
The Batuta guys. I mean, there is a bit of Batuta in everything you guys do, by the way, a little bit.
They're funny.
Very sort of, piss take sort of thing. They're a bit more political. And then, but do you think this will work, the beer?
I think it's probably the only smart thing we've ever done.
Is it working? So because I see you're in all the big store outlets, or the big you're in the
Dan's, BWS.
Dan Murphy, all that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
BWS, etc., which is Woolworths or Coles, whatever.
Pinnacle, yeah.
And they probably love it because you've got such a big following. That sells it straight in. But is the beer selling?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Like,
way better than what we could have hoped and what they thought. I think we're selling 10 times as much as what they predicted,
Really?
we could, yeah.
And where are you producing it?
Yenda. Out of Griffith.
Down south.
Yeah. Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola owns it. It's a big,
Right.
Yellowtail?
Yeah.
So they got
the wine.
Castella,
the wine, but they got a brewery attached to the other side of it, like $80 million one.
Right.
And they got all new canning machines and everything. It's really, really
Whose
good.
idea was this to build the product around beer?
Ours.
Yeah. So what?
Yours.
Yeah.
Which one are you two?
I think
Both
Mark
of
and
us.
yeah,
Maybe
we
you,
both
yeah.
wanted to, but I was like, fuck, let's do this.
Is that because there's always someone?
We always drink.
Well, I mean, I guess it's every kid's dream to have a beer
Fuck
company,
yeah.
Like that's just the dream. And we're getting a lot of offers from, big brands like, Furfies and all that stuff kind of to come on as ambassadors for a year, or other brands to come on and start our own line of beer underneath their banner, like the Inspired Unemployed, the Day for a Beer or whatever. And then we're like, fuck, let's just do it ourselves, So we called a mate, Nick, who's our business partner, who we met on one of our first jobs ever. He took us to like a music festival just to come and he had an alcoholic kombucha company, and we just had to go and just drink piss there, and just it was like the best job in
day
ever. Like
Because we went to
crazy
festivals
for
all the
us.
time anyway.
He's giving us VIP tickets. I'm like, that's amazing. Let's go. Anyway, we got on with him. He was just like, we didn't think he was like a genius or anything, but he was just a good bloke, and we just got on with him. So we kept in touch with him, and then we had all these offers. So I called him. We'll record him together.
Mm.
I'm like, oh, we're getting all these offers, but we kind of want to start our own. What do you think we should do? And then he's like, nah, fuck it, just do it yourself. All you got to do is this.
Yeah.
It's easy as.
That's what he said. It's easy. And we're like,
that
that's.
does not sound
We
easy.
caught him back an hour later.
And said, do you want to do this together?
He's been brewing since he was 18. He's 35. He opened his first brewery at 21. So he's a genius in the brewing sense, which we don't have. So that's why we went to him, because we've got the marketing skills and he's the brewing skills. So it worked out pretty well.
But that's smart, because what's smart about it is you recognise what your skills are, and more importantly, what you need to bring in to make this work. You need to bring someone with his skills in. What sort of beer are we talking about here? Is it a lager? What is it?
It's a lager.
Yeah.
So what's different about it? So you know the whole rage of like seltzers like a year or two ago. That was just all the rage.
Yeah.
So we were kind of thinking
Alcoholic seltzer.
Yeah, and we're like, should we make one of them? Because I've just become like kind of gluten free. We're all trying to look after ourselves. All our mates have become a lot more health conscious and stuff.
Because seltzers are they're like zero sugar, zero carb, blah, blah, blah.
And
Low calories.
They were just blowing up. So we're like, should we do one of them? But like we're beer drinkers, like that's what we'd love to do, like beer.
Yeah.
And then we're like, let's take the statistics of a seltzer and put it in a beer, because not many people were doing that. That was like the difference.
It's like pure blonde. Like that's
pure blonde. Yeah,
80
like
calories.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I think Nick was
More
Nick's
for that.
super savvy. He's like a very good businessman as well. But I think he was more on the no carb lager. And we're like, I don't know.
We wanted the like stone and wood. That's the craft. Craft is everything. That's what the cool thing was.
But we didn't realize at the time how obviously it's so saturated. There's a million craft beers out there. So then going down this route, well, now realizing it's the best thing we've ever done in our whole life.
So tell me what's unique about it, because you're saying low cal, no carbs, low cals,
Low calories, no carbs, no sugar,
and
full strength.
full strength,
4.2.
4.2. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like a lager. And there was another one over in the States that was blowing up. Like it was the fastest growing beer. And there's no one in Australia that was doing that.
And there's a couple that do it, but there's the marketing they don't have, I guess, or I don't know.
They weren't marketing to the consumer that we were going to go after.
And then going in bed with Pinnacle Woolworths Group, again was kind of like, all right, we can get 16. So we're only one of 5 products in one of 5 beers in all of their stores around Australia. So that
1 of 5 craft beers, or
no, just beers.
Beer that's in every single one of their stores.
Yeah,
so it's like
that's
us, like Great Northern, I don't really
4X, maybe a couple others.
Corona.
Yeah.
So at the start they gave us 800 stores. They're like, we want to partner with you. We'll give you 800 stores, and they own 50% of the market. So we're like, we're like, oh, should we do them? I don't know. But
or should we sell it online?
Yeah.
Go through them.
Or, yeah. So we went with them, and then they said, all right, we'll give you 1,000. All right, we'll give you
Who approached
12,000.
them?
Our partner.
Yeah.
So what's his pitch when he walks?
Well,
in?
we all had the pitch. All 4. So Falx, I, and Nick had a pitch, and sales lead, which is Cam, and we all had that single call together it was pretty nerve wracking, to be honest. We were pretty nervous.
And they were playing hardball as well.
They were playing hardball.
Well,
and
they
Yeah.
they were just they were just going.
They only put 2 products in every 6
months or something. And then as the chat continued, and because the thing is, Falx and I and Nick, we worked on this for 11 months, like straight. We got stuck in New Zealand, so we were just locked away working on this beer company for 11 months, just on every bloody aspect of it. And I feel like when we come to the pitch, we had so much good backlog of the detail of how we want it to be, the look of it, everything. And they just, as the Zoom went on, their ears were just spiking up by the second. And by an hour in, they were offering us more than we ever would have dreamed of.
Yeah.
What was the killer punch? What was the killer punch?
The point of difference.
In the pitch.
Point of difference of the
You're talking about the carbs, calories, sugar.
Yeah, better for you alternative.
No.
Yeah.
And I think it's just kind of, And I think because it's like, it's different. So like, it's kind of like our branding, I think a lot of the older alcohol companies, they're scared to talk to like the 18 to 24-year-olds. Like they because of ABAC, so many rules and regulations, everyone's scared to kind of talk to that market where that's our demographic, you know?
Yeah.
So I think they've seen that like Dan Murphy's and that's a very older generation like who goes in there, but where we can bring
Don't point to me.
Yeah. We can hopefully bring in that younger.
I love Rash's, bro.
But like it was never that for us. Like we just wanted to bring bring out a fun product. It's never been about like making it, you know, all this money, or we just wanted to build a fun brand, like a community that, you know, if we're drinking, like if someone's drinking better beer, like that we're mates, you know, it's like a real community brand that we're trying to build.
It's not about the selling of the company. It's about just building it the biggest and best we can, and everyone loves it.
And what about ambassadors?
Like getting like sponsoring people and stuff.
No, you're getting ambassadors for your beer. What, are you using ambassadors, or are you just doing it off your own?
At the moment, just us.
Because you're running a separate Instagram account for Better Beer.
Yeah.
So and how do you transfer the followers over to that? I mean, or do you
From
just
Inspired Unemployed?
Yeah. How do you move Inspired Unemployed over to Better Beer?
Through videos and
funny videos
and just continuous, like, you know, wearing the merch and having the beer pop up into people's subconscious over months at a time. They, you know, it's just a lot of videos, to be honest.
It's so easy for us because like we truly believe in it. Like we love the beer. Like it's not like we just put our name to it and we don't actually like the taste. Like we love it and we actually stand for it. So it's so easy for us to promote.
We're gonna have to do it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to crack one.
But I'm gonna really do
Is this your first one?
Yeah.
Well,
some of the staff have not.
Yeah, it's a half open six pack here.
So we just.
You can be our first ambassador.
But I'm going to do this.
Oh, you get
No
the
way.
Yes.
No way. I'm going to film this. No way. Oh, yes. Are you
He's doing a
kidding?
shoey.
Mark Bouris.
Mark Bouris, shoe of the Better Beer. This is
All right.
that good.
In the
Ready?
Essex.
Ready?
Here we go. Oh, he smashed like a chair. He's
No.
done that.
No
How's
way.
that taste? Tastes a bit better, eh?
Yes.
Talk to us.
So
Good
good.
boy.
Dude.
How good is that, eh?
Yeah, it tastes
That's
better
pretty
out of
good.
shoe.
It tastes much better out of my shoe.
Yeah, that's
That's
screen
bad.
glass, that thing.
The fucking shoe.
Oh, that's good.
Guys,
What's
do
it- is
you
it
guys
good?
got any questions for me?
Yeah. What's your opinion on on public listing your company?
Well,
Not that we want to do it right now or ever.
no, I don't
but-
understand that because you always got to have an exit somehow.
Yeah,
I mean,
obviously.
you either, and an exit is what they call a liquidity event. In other words, how do I get money out of this? So you can either, push it into a listed entity, in which case you get other people investing in your business, and you might take a bit of cash out, or they just fill it up with cash so you can build the business much bigger, and then you buy and sell your shares down the track, or you sell all of your business or parts of your business to a buyer. Some Asahi might say, we love to own Better Beer because they're never going to get in this marketplace. A bit like they just bought Bolter.
Also, yeah.
And those Mick Fanning and Dave Gingell and those guys.
Yeah.
They killed it.
Yeah.
And by the way, Tommy Mooney sold
Stone Wood.
Stone and Wood 400 large.
I've seen 500.
Yeah,
Because
wasn't it half
I
the-
know him quite well because I remember when he played because I know him from up Byron because he owns all the pubs up there. Yeah, and
It's insane.
And so there's big dollars, but I would say to you, after having many years being in public companies, that today the regulatory environment in a public company environment may not suit you guys. I don't really like it myself. You're fully fucking accountable on stupid shit,
Yeah.
and you spend a lot of money and a lot of time being regulated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's what we hate.
It's pretty fucked to be honest. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
You get
but,
watched, don't you? Real closely watched.
fuck, I mean, scrutinised and everything. You employ compliance people and all this shit. And it's a bit of a hassle, but it's also quite a sophisticated way of staying in the business, watching the business grow. It's a way of getting it funded without you having to put your hands in your own kick, and then staying there as a shareholder for 30, 40 years if you want, assuming it's successful the whole time. It has its ups and downs, but for me, the regulatory environment's too tough.
Yeah,
I
okay.
reckon today it's much worse than it's ever been in the past. So someone's a shareholder in it, and you're walking down the street and something's not going right. The share price is down for no fucking fault of your own, and people put shit on you, and you've got to live with that.
Yeah, exactly.
For someone like me, I don't give a fuck, right? But
Doing shoeies at 10:48.
I mean, I've just got hard on over time, because you just get scarred. But equally, if you don't want to sell it sometimes because you really love your product and you love the job, you love what you do,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you
Exactly,
might want
yeah.
to change that. So maybe it does suit you. But what I know a lot of people do, they go out like you did with your manager, they go out and employ, or sign up someone who's like a contractor. They're usually like basic an investment bank, and they run what they call a dual process. So they say, we're going to list this company, which includes all your Instagram and all your public profiles. We're going to list that plus the beer business and any other business you might attach to, any other product business you might attach to the brand, okay? Or the brands. And then they say, we're going to list it, but they run a dual process. In other words, another process in parallel, but we'll sell it if the right buyer comes along. So to flush the buyers out, you got to get the buyers to think that there might be a listing of this, which means you become much better funded, therefore become a competitor to the buyer.
Yeah.
So what you're trying to do is flush the buyer out.
Yeah.
And then if the buyer comes and offers you over the valuation.
What's that mean?
Okay. More, let's say the valuation of your whole thing is, I don't know, 50 million, 100 million, make a number, 100 million. But if the buyer comes and says, I'll give you 105 million to take you out of the market and for them to control this future, then you take the 105.
Like a say and stuff too, and Lion Nathan and that. That's what they do. Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
So Lion Nathan might come along, and say, fuck, we don't want this to be listed as a public company because the last thing we need is a big business like this who could have 4 other sub-brands well funded by the marketplace. The last thing we want to do is compete. Let's just take them out. It's better for us to buy them for 105 million and then control it.
Yeah.
Which is sort of what they do. And they also say we can't build a brand. They can't build brands like this.
Mm.
This is what General Electric did to my business, Wizard Business. The last thing they wanted me to become was like a bank. So General Electric said, let's just go and buy him. It's cheaper for them to pay me 500 million for my business than it was to have to compete with me down the track.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
So, so you run what they call a dual process, and there's guys out there do this sort of stuff. I mean, there's organisations, UBS, all the big organisations, Macquarie Bank, they all do it. They run these programs for you. They take a fee for the whole thing, a bit like your manager does. So those processes depend on who wants to get out, when you want to get out. There's a whole package of decision making you have to make, each one of you individually, and then what are you going to do after it? Like, let's say you get a big check. Both of you might say, fuck it, we're just going to travel.
Yeah.
See ya.
Probably.
Buy the South Coast.
Yeah.
We'll buy from the bottom of Sutherland right down to past Coimba. Whatever, you know what I mean?
It costs you a bit now. It's that expensive.
Totally,
Yeah.
exactly. But or you might say, no, fuck that. I really enjoy this deal.
Yeah.
I want to stay in. So those sort of decisions have to be made, but probably not now, but down the track.
Yeah.
Cool.
Guys,
Thank you.
I loved it. It's great for an early Wednesday morning for me to be having a beer.
Yeah.
I enjoy the beer. Beer tastes good, by the way.
Thank you.
All the best there.
Say goodbye to your gut.
Yeah. Cheers. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you guys.
Freaking hell.
Ah.